Today, I am giving you 10,000 hours of experience in 10 minutes. The clock is ticking, so if you're liking the vibe, like and subscribe. Now let's get into your video. Before mixing a song, you need to know the objective of the song. Make every decision around that. Emotion and energy is the communication medium of music. Focus on those things when you're making all of your moves. How is this EQ serving the emotion or the energy of the record? If you take care of the objective and the emotion of the song, the mix will take care of itself. Just because you got a new plug-in or you are really into saturation and clipping right now doesn't mean that the song needs that at all. There is no set way, step-by-step method to doing anything in mixing. It is a game of juggling. You're going back and forth from the kick to the bass to the snare to the vocal to the strings, and it's just all over the place until it finally comes together. Mixing is about relationships. How does the kick relate to the bass? How does the kick and the bass relate to the vocals? How do they touch, or how do they have their distance and separation from each other? A lot of mixing is psychology. The client normally hears the song one specific way. To us, the mix could sound an infinite amount of ways. So you want to do as much as possible before mixing to get a picture of what they're thinking the mix should sound like. There are no rules. There may be commonalities or best practices, but there is no right or wrong. Do you always. You can't turn a 2 recording into a 10. If your recordings are great, it's pretty hard to make great recordings sound bad if you want them to sound good. It's harder to learn how to mix if you can't record well, because when you're mixing, you're not actually mixing, you're fixing. What you think you're doing is mixing, but you're really trying to fix problems. A lot of the problems people are having with their mixes are just bad recording issues. Acoustics. If you're going to be mixing or recording, acoustics are extremely important. Treat the room. Master one volume when you're mixing. You want to get a sound level meter. You want to get an actual meter that's more accurate, but you can use a free app just to get started with this, and it'll get you in the ballpark. Have the measurement be dBc weighted slow. The range that you want to be in is between 70 and 80. 75, that's where I like to be, but around that range is where we get a flat-ish response as far as how we hear sound. Master that volume. Never touch it. Never turn it up or down, because your entire mix and the entire balance changes as you adjust the overall volume. Don't listen with your eyes. Remove your screen from between your speakers. The speakers need to become the screen. So if you can have your screen off to the side so that you're not looking at your screen to hear the song, you need to be just listening to hear the song. Have a mix template for routing. You don't necessarily have to have a bunch of plugins on there, but you want to have one for routing so you decrease a lot of repetitive steps for every mix. You want to have a flexible template so that you can bring in somebody else's session, organize it in a way that makes sense to you, and start being creative. Do the technical cleanup stuff before mixing, taking out all of the clicks and pops, all of the editing, getting your drums in phase, get that out of the way first. When you start mixing, you kind of want to just stay in the creative mindset. Feel the emotion and the energy of the song. You don't want to get taken out of the creativity and back into the technical. Before you do anything to a sound, imagine how you want it to sound before putting any plugins on it. If you're compressing a vocal, imagine what you want that sound to sound like, and then put a compressor on it. Bypass it. Imagine that sound in your head again. Unbypass it. Does it match or not? That's having a plan for what you actually want to do instead of fumbling around until you stumble into something that sounds okay. I like to start with drums first, and then bring in the bass, then bring the vocals in, then do the music. Starting with the kick and the bass, or the drums in general, that's the foundation and the frame of the mix. Like the foundation of a house and the bones of the house. Transitions are extremely important. Going from the intro to the first verse, one of the most important parts of the song. Then the verse to the hook, or however the song is arranged. Thinking of a song or even an album as a journey, and how you hand off the listener to each section of the song. You may want to have a smooth transition, or you may want to shock them and scare them and bring them on some kind of a roller coaster. Transitions are a great point in the song to do those kind of things. Contrast: loud, soft, bright, dark, wet, dry. Extremely important in music. If you want something to be loud, everything can't be loud. Something has to be low. Automation and balance are the main things that make a mix sound professional. Automation Equalization allows for you to hear everything when you're supposed to hear everything. It allows for the song to really be a journey. What the balance does is it focuses the listener's ear on what they're listening to. Loudness. Streaming has loudness normalization. It's not really a big of a deal, but if you do want to be loud, it's about balance and sacrifices. There are certain things that are just not going to make it if you're trying to be loud. Your low end is not going to be thumping and rumbling like crazy. You're going to have to let that go. The transients are not going to be as impactful. Dynamics. Loudness versus softness. Not going to be as much of that. If you want to find the perfect placement for your vocal, mute the vocal. Imagine where it needs to reappear in your mix, unmute it. If it's there, you're good. Does it appear where you wanted it to be at? EQ is one of your best tools for emotion and energy. Initially, you want to EQ for tonal balance, tonal shaping, before even thinking about, oh my gosh, there's resonance, blah, 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 whatever. And then emotion and character and energy. Think of EQ as turning up or down the qualities of a sound. If you have a acoustic guitar, maybe you want to turn up some of the pluckiness of that. Don't even think about frequencies, just where on the EQ is that quality of that sound. Resonances that are not problematic should be left alone. My voice is resonating right now. Everything is resonating. We have resonances that make up a sound. They're not bad. Some are louder than others in an unpleasing way. And so when that happens, you just turn that down. But if it's not unpleasing, leave it alone. Compressors are not the best tool for dynamics. Your fader is the best tool for dynamics, for controlling dynamics, for enhancing dynamics. The most powerful tool of emotion and energy is your fader. Literally turning the volume up or down. Reverb is literally simulating a space. Think of it as a world creator. Instead of thinking of it like, oh man, what kind of reverb do I need to put on a guitar? Think of the world you want this to live in and put that on the sound. Panning. Two main ways. Think of it like a stage and people are performing these sounds. Where are they placed on the stage? Or just think of it as a world, because it doesn't have to be realistic. Where are those sounds in the world that you're creating? Character, texture, and personality. This is something that you would naturally get when you mixed in the analog realm. Now that we are all in digital, that character, texture, and personality, we have to reinsert that. That's how people who don't know what we do relate more emotionally to the song. Something sounding silky has a certain feeling and emotion. Crispy, airy, warmth. All of those things are character, personality, texture, and timbre. These are concepts you can use to communicate more energy and emotion. Most plugins make things louder and brighter. Use an analyzer to check and make a preset that does not get louder. It's alright if you just need one plugin. Basics of mixing make the biggest difference. The basics: balance, automation, EQ. You have to be dangerous with the EQ in your hand. You have to be like a sniper with the fader. It's like playing a sport. You have to be really good at the fundamentals to become great. Experience is extremely important in mixing because you learn what doesn't work versus what kind of works versus what works best or what works most times. And that's for things that you do to a song, but also what works when you release a song and what people gravitate to and what they don't respond to. Listen in real life. Listen to voices when you're having a conversation with someone. Listen to instruments in real life. Go out in the atmosphere outside and just listen to the birds chirping, the cars driving by, the wind. That will help inform you on what's actually natural and familiar to humans. You can use that in your mixes to help create your worlds. Practice more than you actually mix. Mixing is game day. That is not the time to be practicing, to be trying out a new plugin you just got yesterday. You should be practicing way more than you're actually mixing songs for clients. That's how you get really, really, really good. You're not a confident mixer because you don't practice enough. Create a list of things to master one at a time. EQ, compression, reverb, delay, texture, character, lo-fi, hi-fi, top end. You can get as detailed and specific as you want. Practice one thing for like 1 to 2 weeks. Whatever rabbit hole you want to go down about EQ, practice. Move on to the next. Practice. Study mixes that you like and that you love. We have streaming. We can listen to everything. Just listen and study how they're EQing the vocals, how they're EQing the drums. Study all of it. Study the best mixers of all time, past and present. See if you can find interviews or articles of them talking about the things that they do and why. Learn more about their philosophy, the way they think and approach mixing, what things are important to them. Study their mixes. That's so much knowledge right there. It's just in the music. Get some faders. Get a way to control plugins without looking at the screen. You'll make way more musical decisions. Read books and take courses, but only from people whose work you like and you respect. Because if you don't like their music, probably won't like their courses. But even what's better than courses is getting a mentor. If you could work in a studio where there are engineers that you really like and would love to work under, that would be the best situation ever to learn. They most likely have 10, 20, 30 plus years of experience and knowledge, and they can just pass that along to you and accelerate you way faster. There is only one true judge of your mix, and that is the client. You cannot please everyone. There is always going to be someone who doesn't like something about your mix. Even you can listen to mixes that you really like and love and find something wrong with it. Alright guys, that was the video. If you're liking the vibe, like and subscribe. If you want the channel to grow, send this video to somebody you know.